Saturday night.
The week had been long and exhausting. We were working on a major project that we'd had to have finished by Monday at 8 a.m. Each day this week, I'd come in at 5 a.m. and go home at midnight. I went in at 5 a.m. this morning, so insanely tired. I just wanted to finish this thing and come home to enjoy what was left of my weekend. I knew if we didn't finish today, we'd be back again tomorrow. I sighed, pushing down my own exhaustion. I'd given it my all today. My entire team had. Finally, about 2 hours ago, all of our hard work had paid off. We'd just finished the project 2 hours ago. We'd all rejoiced when we saved it for the last time. After a round of hugs and chocolate, we all said our goodbyes and left. Everyone was very eager to get out of there. Each of us just wanted to rest and be on our own. We'd spent far too many hours together recently. I was thrilled to be driving home. I was blasting my favorite music and drinking my water. I was already thinking about my warm jammies and fuzzy socks. After 20 more minutes of driving, I pull up to my house. I got out of my car. The sun was going down and the sky was a beautiful mix of pinks, purples, and yellows. A cold gust of wind cut through my jacket right to my bones. That chill stayed with me all night. It kept getting worse as the night went on. Opening my front door, I saw a Polilla negra flying about, nearly smacking me in the face. That was a bad omen, so I quickly looked around for something to get it safely out of the house, hoping that it would take with it the death it typically brings. I saw a small trash can and a legal pad I'd left on the table. Grabbing them, I ran around the house, chasing it as if my life depended on it. I had to get it out without any harm coming to it. Jumping up into the air, I finally caught it in the trash can using the legal pad to trap it. Carefully, I took it outside, letting it go free in my front yard. Hopefully, that would reverse the curse of the Polilla negra. I paused, taking a minute to catch my breath. I locked the door behind me, changed into my PJs, fuzzy socks, and slippers. As I went to the fridge to get out some leftovers, I heard a scraping sound coming from the back door. I paused and listened. There was the sound again. Scrape, scrape like someone scraping a knife against the house. I closed the fridge door and all was silent. Okay, I thought to myself, you're imagining things. You've been watching one too many episodes of Criminal Minds. I heated some pasta, grabbed the remote, and sat down on the couch. A few minutes later, I was lost in trying to solve the next case and enjoying my dinner. A sharp howling sound interrupted my thoughts. The sound was coming from the direction of the kitchen. It sounded like whatever it was close, inside the house, close. Running in the opposite direction, I went to my bedroom, grabbed my shotgun, took in a deep breath, and went toward the kitchen. My mind began to go in all sorts of directions. Maybe I'd left the back door ajar and a coyote had gotten in. Maybe a window had blown open and it was just the wind. My mind raced with all of the tales my abuela had told me about La Llorona, Nahuals, or maybe even a chupacabra. Was the sound coming from a man, beast, or spirit? Worse yet, maybe it was something far more sinister. My heart sped up as I inched toward the kitchen, every step feeling like I was going in slow motion. I fought to control my breathing but knew passing out wasn't going to help, regardless of what the problem was. Turning the corner, I saw no one or no creature there. The wind had picked up, blown a window open, and a plastic grocery bag into the trees. The howling sound pierced the backyard as I scrambled to close the window. That was very odd for me, though. I always kept my windows closed. If you left the window open, the La Llorona or other spirits could come in. Laughing at myself for overreacting, I went back to the living room, lowered the shotgun, and finished my show. Hours later, I was ready for bed. I grabbed the shotgun, stood it up by the bed, crawled under the covers, and drifted off to sleep. I was relieved the events earlier in the day were over and was looking forward to some much-needed sleep. I was letting myself be enveloped in the TV world I loved as I drifted off to dreamland. I was awakened by the sound of loud pops coming from my living room. Grabbing the shotgun, still half asleep, I quietly made my way to the living room. As I entered, I drew the shotgun, putting it at the ready. I was having a hard time getting even breaths. The closer I got, the louder the noise became. I realized what the noise was. It was gunfire. My vision was blurring a bit and my palms were getting sweaty, determined not to be another statistic. I forced myself to steady my hands until I heard where the gunfire was coming from. The remote was on the couch, blinking. I must not have turned it off. My show was on. Looking around, seeing there was no other threat, I once again laughed, lowered the gun, and went back to bed. The next morning, I was thinking about the craziness of the night before, wondering if I'd accidentally eaten one of the special cookies I was taking to Sarah, my friend with cancer, until I went outside to get into my car. In the driveway, I noticed the gate to the backyard was open. Some very odd shapes resembling footprints led to the gate. A closer look at them made it impossible to tell if they were really human, an animal, or something else. The first few looked more human, then they changed into an unrecognizable shape. A red sticky substance dripped down from it. Curious, I followed the trail into the backyard. Fresh scrape marks decorated the back of my house. Drops of the red sticky substance dotted a trail from the marks on the house to a horrifying sight. Several animals lay dead and eviscerated. I began to shake. Cold chills ran down my spine, and I lost my breakfast. Finally, after what seemed like hours but was only minutes, I pulled myself together. One thing was for sure. Something or someone had definitely been out there. As I cleaned up the mess, my mind kept wandering about what I had been visited by. Was it the Nahual going from human to animal? A chupacabra? The thought of them made me grip my stomach, trying not to get sick again. I added some cameras, finished cleaning the backyard, and hope nothing like this ever happens again. I've never been so terrified in my life.